First order of business is the scribe.
I don't mind doing it.
All right.
Oh, you're recycling twice in a row, almost.
They're so easy now that
First order of business is the scribe. All right. Do we have any approval of minutes that need to be done?
The one just sent out. We only have one that's outstanding at this point, right?
Well,
Yeah.
plus I sent mine out yesterday, and I think we had one from the week before, right?
we have Cynthia's and mine still to approve, I think. I can't remember. If
No, mine
Lisa's-
got approved, but
No, we-
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yours.
think it was just yours because not everybody had a chance to read it.
Okay.
John, what was yours?
724, I think.
224, yeah.
224, sorry.
I think I sent 224 in. I think we
no,
did approve that.
224 was mine. And that got
Oh.
approved last week.
Yeah.
Then it's the second, I guess. No, that's I've lost track.
I've
It's
got
in my-
it here.
March
somewhere.
2nd and March 4th, right?
Hold on. Let me look
The
at my
last week.
notes.
Yeah, we approved the 24th and the 17th.
Right. Last meeting. Yeah.
Oh, I can't find John's.
You
Here,
Either 2 or 210. It's one of those.
I'm looking to see here. It's
John was 3-2 and Lee, oh no, wait a minute. By
I was
law,
3-2.
And that was the week before.
but who did someone do the 4th? Didn't we meet Friday?
Yeah, we did. I can pull them up.
Who
Lee
did Friday?
did the one from Friday.
Who did?
Right, I did the one on Friday.
And I
Okay.
did the one on Wednesday.
Oh, so I think you're right. It's 3-2 that we have not approved yet.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
Lee should be
3-2,
for
and I
3-4.
just submitted 3-4.
They might be dated, they might not be dated correctly. I don't know. Because your note says 3-2.
You're right.
I have that in my records.
Let's see if
So it's
the,
fair to say nobody had a chance to review those?
Not
I
Lee's.
reviewed John's.
Yeah, I reviewed John's as well. Yeah, we do need to make the correction. I do have the wrong date on mine.
Okay. Lee, can you just correct that and send it back out? And maybe if we have time before the advisory meeting, we can review them, and then at the end of the meeting, we'll approve them.
Yep, I'm editing right now as we speak.
So we're gonna open up to public comment, so we can, if we have to reach out to anybody in the audience, we can do so. With a show of hands, let's, everybody's in favor of opening to public comment. Okay, it's unanimous. All right, we got back the draft from the town council. It's a little, I guess it's little convoluted on how you, not what he did, but how we presented it, so that with the edits and Word and so forth. So Tim's gonna do his best to see if he can share that and explain it to us.
So I'm not exactly great at markup in Word, so I just figured out something. Turns out Lee informed me you can accept all your changes before you send somebody else a document. So all the editing I did made the document bright red, and then we had Jay's comments on top of the bright red from the formatting. So it was extremely hard to see what Jay wrote. So I realized I was able to go back through and accept all of my changes in the document.
Mhm.
Now I can actually read what Jay wrote. So it's a little bit easier to follow. So
Okay,
for those of you that don't know that feature in Word, I just learned something. So now we can see exactly what Jay wrote, and I can send this one out too, so people can see it, but I also have it up here on the screen.
This should become version 9 then, right?
Yeah, this will become version 9. Right now, it's still the same because nothing's been changed yet. So it's still the version we got back from legal, which is the V8 JRT edit. And then I put markup 2 here in case I actually deleted something improperly when I was accepting all my changes. So that's the only reason it has markup at the end, so I could accept my changes.
So what are the things that are in red?
So the things that are in red were already here. The things that Jay added are in blue. And there's this comment thing over here too. If I put it in this view, one of these views. Yeah, there it goes. You can see Jay Tellerman inserted commercial and industrial uses in. And then that's what you're seeing here.
Okay,
Same thing as we keep going down. Anything in blue is stuff that he added in. Apparently I didn't accept all of my changes because all my changes should have, the red section should have been gone.
Hmm.
Oh, here it is. Accept change. I inserted this, accept change. There we go. Now it's making sense, guys. I thought I knew how to use Microsoft Word.
Yeah, I thought I did too, but so what is it accepting? Oh, you have to go on that thing on the
change
left.
is turned on, and now he's accepting the changes from
I
track.
get it.
Yeah, my changes.
Okay.
Which weren't really changes, they were the original document.
Yeah. Well, they were the document we edited before, if that makes sense. So, anyway, I'm going to leave it go. Mine are still red, his are blue. I think it's clear enough right now as we talk about it.
So why don't we go down in, obviously you didn't do anything with scope. It looked like sound emanating from the following, he added commercial and industrial uses in the fall, and so that he added that language. Is that any different, much different than what we had? We just said emanating from those zones, right?
No, I think he added that. So it used to say from the following zones, and he
Right.
added commercial and industrial uses.
So can
that's
we
not-
just make that part of it?
Yeah, I mean, like, we're going to accept the changes as we go through now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, so we can just quickly try to get through this, so we can probably take it to advisory.
yeah,
Because the changes were shared with them as well.
yeah.
So it looks like he changed contractor to business or other entities that are retained to do work on property and which generates noise, including but not limited to. So just kind of, made the definition a little bit more clear, I guess. Is that?
Yeah, well, he said that are retained to do work, which makes sense because they may not be getting paid at the beginning of middle of a project.
Uh-huh.
They might be getting paid at the end. So it's an interesting way to clean up that language.
Yeah.
And then he also apparently likes including but not limited to, as we tried to go the opposite way. So,
We took it out, he put it back in. That's fine.
Yeah, no problem with that.
Yeah.
he also wrote a comment over here. Given the advent of Amazon, the term deliveries is broad and or ambiguous. I feel like we're okay with that being ambiguous. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
Well,
it's in effect
construction-
on
it could be-
contract.
sorry, Lisa.
It could be construction deliveries.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if
So maybe-
but I mean, if this is ambiguous, then it could be any deliveries. So construction, if we leave it ambiguous, it's ambiguous. It means it can cover more things. So Amazon, USPS, construction, Home Depot, any of that sort of stuff is all covered under the word delivery.
Yeah. So if you parse this, in the first line, it says businesses or other entities that are retained to do work on property, and this is the key word, and the rest of it. So
Yeah,
therefore, deliveries is part of, you have to be a business or entity that's retained to do work on the property. So Amazon would not be somebody that was retained to do work on the property.
right.
So it's not an or, it's an and that's
Gotcha.
modified. So I don't see this as a problem.
Me either.
I just leave I'd accept his change and leave deliveries in.
Yep.
Okay. Keep moving on.
So what about
So
like
are
the
we gonna
delivery,
turn them,
like delivery of equipment, like you have, you have. a
That
guy
leaves in
dropping off-
delivery of equipment.
But the guy dropping off the equipment is Joe's backhoe, rental. He's not really
He's getting
retained
paid
to
in
do
some
work
kind
on
of
the property. He's retained by the guy doing the septic system or whatever, you know what I mean? That kind of-
Exactly. It doesn't say that the contractor is retained by the homeowner. It says
Okay,
they're
okay.
just retained to do work on the property, which may include deliveries. So I would
Okay.
interpret that as being inclusive.
Okay, just as long as that, we want to make sure that that's part of it.
Yeah.
And it's included but not limited to also, so.
Right.
I'm turning it black, Cindy, figuring it out.
okay. I just wasn't sure how we were doing it.
Okay. I mean, I figured we just go through it. I'd accept them all at once, but it looks like I can do it easy enough this way.
Yeah.
Okay,
So distinctly audible.
That was where we left
You
off
understood.
last week. What Pete was gonna add to it. So distinctly audibles is the definition that was added.
Yeah.
I'm happy with what Jay is at.
It's pretty simple, and I think it's easily to understand,
Hearing no objections, I'm gonna start accepting things.
Too bad there's
I'm
not-
sure somebody's like is crawling that knows a better way of doing this. So if somebody out there knows a better way of doing this, please inform me so I don't look like an idiot on the screen.
I think you
It's
can,
too bad there's not a command
You want-
key you could do.
You want to do it all at the end, Tim? Would that make it easier?
Yeah, let's do it that way because this is painful. I don't want to waste everybody's time while I'm just clicking OK.
Just leave your cursor where we leave off, that's all.
Okay, so enforcement official. A duly designated police officer, and now it jumped ahead. So yeah, I'm not going to keep doing that. I don't think that there was any changes to it. And I tried to clarify this because it wasn't commented on. So I don't know how council stands on this, but I never heard back about a clarification. So I think we leave it in for now until we hear back.
Well, he probably saw it as a cross out, so he probably figured it was all set.
Yeah, I mean, we can cross it down if we'd rather just try to move forward. I don't see a reason.
I just get rid of it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Homeowner work.
Oh, you just clarified owner or occupant of a residential property. And then including but not limited to. Seems in line with what we were thinking, just cleaned up.
Yeah.
yeah,
Why isn't there construction in there?
in where?
In that
And
definition?
one of those
for
renovation
homeowners work?
landscaping
For
property. maintenance.
homeowners work?
Yeah,
Because the construction will be covered.
Well, you can be doing your own construction.
Yeah, we could add it in. It's all the
That's-
same. It's the spirit of what we wanted. So adding construction
Yeah.
specific in here is fine.
that's fair.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
We have a hand raised in the audience.
Okay.
Hi there, it's Grant Barrington, 58 Flag Road. Just so you're aware, you can highlight an entire section and then right click and do accept change or accept all changes, and that will accept it as written, I believe. Oh,
No dice. but it's a good
Oh.
suggestion.
Okay, it does it on my version, so sorry to interrupt.
Tim, you have to highlight just the sections that are being changed. So if you highlight, try it. No, there you go.
Ooh,
There we go.
wow,
Okay.
thank you.
You can't keep going beyond it. Okay.
No
That
problem.
Thank you, Grant.
Thank you.
Thank you, Grant.
Thank you.
Wisdom of the crowds.
Okay, so we get down to standards.
Wait a minute, I
Um,
think we have
wait,
to just,
wait,
you
Lee-
have to accept the 2 there, but not limited to,
oh, this thing.
yeah.
I think that's a different kind of Microsoft.
Yeah, I think that's Microsoft Word grammar.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, we'll just keep chugging along.
okay,
Yeah.
Okay, so he only added loud noise.
Okay.
And
So he
then
left that alone?
pretty much left it alone, just added loud as a classifier and then added an S for a plural. So that seems straightforward.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, and I said I won't do that. I'm not going to do it. Sticking to it. No, he didn't
No.
change it here, so added noise relating to new residential construction, new commercial construction, or demolition. So he deleted the words that we had in the permit and put it back to more general terms.
Yeah,
With the
I don't
comment
think
about
I'm
what about
crazy about
additions and
that.
renovations?
yeah.
And then we have to then we actually have to have a definition for construction, right?
Yeah, what
We took out the definition of construction because we didn't mention it when we started using this as a residential new construction permit as a thing.
Right, because it was that's already pre-described or pre-defined. So
yeah, I don't know that he understood what we were talking about.
No.
I like the way it was because it was very black and white. It was in this town, if you pull those permits,
Right.
that's it.
Yeah,
I would
think we
favor
should
going
leave
back
it.
the way we had it.
Okay, so if I
So
I'm
you
fine with
reject change.
hmm,
this is comment. The easiest way just to pull up the V8 document we sent and then copy it back. There has to be a better way.
Isn't it below there or no? What's below there? It
Well,
says,
this-
no,
this-
it talks about the permits below there.
oh, she's right, yeah, look,
Any noise relating to new construction.
But Tim rejected it,
And
so he should have
Yeah,
deleted
Tim
the.
just put that back.
Any noise relating to New York.
I think if you right click there, you could probably.
No, if you read the sentence, it says any noise relating to new residential construction, new commercial construction, or demolition work that generates an unreasonable disturbance beyond the property line with a residential new construction permit, commercial new construction permit, or demolition is only allowed. Is that a full
Yeah,
sentence?
That's
is that
right.
the
That's
whole
correct.
sentence?
She's right.
Yeah, I
That's
think
the whole
that's,
sentence.
I think you're right, Lisa. I think that is
Yeah.
fine, but that was taken out a second ago. So whatever I just clicked on, put that back in there, but the two pieces
Okay.
play
I
well
didn't see that.
together.
Yeah, Tim, if you wanted to get rid of what Jay said, Jay has, what about additions or renovations? So that's where you need to reject that one, and that'll take his comment out or delete the.
There you go. There we go.
That didn't do it.
Now it's all, yeah.
Okay, that's more like what we had, yeah.
It's over here on the side. Nope, no, we dropped. No, we were there. I don't know. I don't typically use this revision thing. I need to figure this out.
I think we're saying this kind of similar things twice, which is
Yeah, it's very
Right, well,
cumbersome.
that's
both of them.
because we only rejected or accepted half the changes.
Right.
I think if he does a bunch of undos, he'll find that we go back to something that doesn't say anything about residential new construction permits, commercial new construction permit, or demolition permit.
So pretty much we're talking about taking this piece out. Any noise.
Yeah, can you just delete it?
So
Work that generates-
He has to highlight it.
no, I mean, I think I can just do that.
There we go.
And now
I'm
we have.
wondering what was his reasoning behind it?
I think well, if I would go back a couple steps to what it was, he eliminated residential new construction permit and commercial, and he just moved the context of this into this statement in blue, and then eliminated this statement down here. That's the way he rewrote it. He moved this piece up to this generic line, and then eliminated. He eliminated all this.
Yeah,
So it was disturbance beyond the property line between 7 a.m. and 6 p.m. and blah, 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 blah.
whereas we specifically tied it to those permits for a
Right.
reason.
Right.
So
That's
I
to
think
address
his-
those, NR, whatever those lots are that on,
Yeah,
under the
but
planning board.
if it's construction noise, I mean, there's nothing wrong with limiting those hours, especially if it's a project that goes for a while.
But that gets limited under number 1. Contracted work noise standards, number 1.
What, for any construction noise?
It's contracted work, right?
Right, but those hours are longer.
We wanted to restrict it on
Oh.
Saturday, so
Right.
I understand what he's doing. I like the new I like the permit because that's a black and white concrete. You have it or you don't, and therefore there's no definition we have to worry about with residential construction or commercial construction.
Yeah.
okay, so we're gonna get rid of this piece in blue that Jay added.
I mean, I don't think it hurts to, I mean, leave it there as long as we have the red one.
I think it's confusing if you have both because
I agree with John.
It doesn't read well at all.
Yeah, I think it reads smoother the way we had it.
Okay.
I need to save this as V9.
Yeah.
and it's almost 7:30.
Oh, it is already?
I'm logging into the advisory committee and the link is still comes up as dead.
Yeah, I've been logging in with my tablet and I can't get in.
We're not
Well,
supposed.
we're on for 8:15 there, so.
Oh,
we
okay.
got some time.
Oh,
Yeah, we got some time.
Yeah.
This has to change too. This is now
I
V9.
just wonder if they realize that that nobody's going to show up because they have a dead link.
Well, you can go in and just go through, I just went through Zoom and I used the meeting number and the password to get in.
And it let you into their meeting?
No, into our meeting, because
No, no.
our
The
link was dead
The
too.
problem is that the meeting ID that they have for their meeting is the meeting that was the same information as for the last meeting, and it's expired.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
let's wait till 8:15 to worry about it being a problem.
okay.
So for now, we just got this work thing done. We're down here, no changes from J. Oh, you deleted the capital W and put a lowercase w in, okay?
so
Yes.
actually, I have a question about this, because I know that we took it out and we took out what we originally voted on. I don't think we even voted on this. And so when we decided to bring it back in last week, what should have gone back were the weekday hours, the Saturday and the Sunday hours, not just the work between 7 a.m. and 9 p.m. Because remember how we did a vote on everything? I don't think we ever voted on this line. I don't see it in any of our minutes.
Which line are you talking about, Tim? Which line is it?
43.
43.
The homeowner work.
43.
Yeah, what we took out were the original, which gave Monday through Friday hours, which were a little bit shorter. I think it was 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Then Saturday might have been a little bit longer, and Sunday was a little bit different, and so on and so forth.
Saturday and Sunday were the same, and legal holidays were the same as Saturday and Sunday.
Right. So we didn't vote on 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. for all days. When
So
that got back.
I had that in section 3 that Tim motioned and I seconded adding the section on homeowner noise back to the document that was approved 5-0 to 1 with you abstaining.
Yeah,
That's what I
Right,
put in.
but that was the original, not this one. I don't think we voted on this one.
yes, we voted last Friday.
No, not on that. We said that we would bring it back in, but we never voted on this specific line.
Well,
I mean,
is this the
you wanna
line
just
that
revote?
we've taken out?
No, the one that was taken out was the one that delineated Monday through Friday, Saturday and Sunday hours that we did our big vote on at the very beginning after the getting feedback from the survey. And that's-
Lisa's right. We voted to take it out completely to simplify things.
Yeah,
And then at the end, I think Tim was talking about, the king of the castle, queen of the castle, and how removing this actually weakens that position. I think we kind of tabled to discuss it more. That's what I recall.
right.
Well-
So what we took out was the original vote that we did. We never voted on that one line. So if anything's supposed to go back in, it was the original hours that we voted on as a group.
Yeah,
But
I think I
when-
remember that too.
Because I think we were concerned that during the week to go until 9 o'clock at night, it would be tough on putting kids to
Right.
bed, so on and so forth.
Tim, do you have the version 4 that had it in there or something?
Yeah, I gotta dig it up.
Let me, maybe I can do that. Although
Okay, in version 6, it's allowed between 7 and 8 on weekdays,
And 8 and
and 8 and 9 on Saturdays and Sundays and legal holidays.
So this would be the one we're removing.
Right.
just as a libertarian, I do like the simple one line. It would than the other lines, but I mean, 1 hour difference doesn't make a difference too much for me. It's more about the resistance and at the town meeting.
I mean, I don't want to rehash an old conversation, but I mean, I like the simple one line too, and it's a 1 hour difference on a weeknight to simplify it.
I think we should stick with what we voted with, and I think it shows that we, we're mindful of sounds in the evening for when children need to go to bed and potentially people that need to get up at 3 a.m. that need to go to bed.
so Saturdays and Sundays are the same hours?
You get an extra hour. It shifts 1 hour from 8 to 9 instead of 7 to 8.
I thought Saturdays was at 7, but maybe not.
No, Saturdays.
It's 8 to 9, so it shifts
Yeah.
1 hour.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
8 to 9.
7 and 8 p.m. on weekdays and 8 to 9.
So it's really 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. on Saturdays, Sundays, and legal holidays, right?
Yes.
Because it's no difference, if you want to make it a little bit shorter.
8 AM to 9 PM Saturdays.
That's why I thought Saturdays were
School
different, but
holidays. No, they're not.
So there, I simplified that line.
Yeah.
So it's 2 lines.
Compromise.
Yeah, all right. I'll move that language if you want.
Do we want an official vote just to re-clarify that?
We
Yeah,
should.
let's-
I think we should.
okay, let's, vote. So that would be homeowner hours or homeowner.
So I move that we institute the original hours proposed and demonstrated at the public hearings versus the simplified version.
Okay,
Are you,
I'll
wait a minute,
vote
are you
yes.
saying you don't want this for what's written?
Well, I'm a simple, I'm a libertarian, but I'm
Huh?
fine with this. I'm just saying, let's vote on this. I'm
Okay, can't
proposing.
we just vote on the revised
Well, right,
homeowner work noise standards?
so right now, so what John's motion is, we had this in as our V8 version. So
Yeah.
John's saying, he's making a motion that we eliminate this V8 version and
Uh-huh.
adopt this simplified V9 version, which is what we had on.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
I'll
Got it.
second John's motion.
Okay, I'll vote yes for that. Lee,
I vote yes.
Cindy,
Yes,
Lisa,
Yes.
Tim,
No,
John.
No, but it carries.
Okay. 4 yeses, 2 nos.
cool. So moving on. We don't have any changes here down to here. So he added in, he deleted identified. What's that?
It's interesting because we like lifted this language from like another statute, right?
Yeah,
hmm,
he changed.
So the change was, or the identified making of any loud noises? Is that where the identified was? Well,
I'm putting up my own reference here so I can see.
let's see.
You deleted some, it should be highlighted there.
Yeah, but it's hard to see exactly. It just says what he deleted. I don't know exactly where it fit. This goes in.
Oh, of identified persons.
Yeah, yeah. So by deleting that, he's saying that they don't have to, they could do an anonymous tip. So by deleting that line and saying that they could, that somebody that calls in for something like this doesn't have to be identified. They could just say somebody's making a bunch of noise down the street.
Well, the reason why I identified persons is because that's an element in the
yeah. that
criminal
was-
disturbing the peace. You have to prove that a person's peace was disturbed. You have to, that
Yeah.
person has to like go to court and say it.
So this,
So,
this doesn't make sense
but
then.
this would be different, I guess, so. That's where
So
that
we
came
should
from.
reject this change then.
Yeah, I agree.
But
Yeah.
Peter, but can you make a complaint before you know the identified person?
No, you are the
No,
person.
no, no. If somebody's outside making a lot of noise, I don't know the person, but I want to
No,
report it.
the person making the complaint, when you call, you have to identify yourself.
Correct.
It can't be anonymous.
Okay.
So
Is this?
But, we can make it anonymous in this, but this can be something different than, but that's where that came from originally. We can make it anonymous, it's fine.
I mean, I think the point of this wasn't to make it anonymous.
Right.
You have to be identified. So I think rejecting this is
Is
in,
good. We should reject it.
Yeah.
okay.
Persons.
So he added property and just clarified some of the other language and cleaned up vending loads became cargo or equipment.
Mhm.
These all seem to make sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep. The advisory committee link, by the way, is working now.
Oh, cool.
Okay, so we're good with these.
Mhm.
yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so he added this line here. I don't know why it's in red, which address harsh or objectionable or unreasonable noises. So he just added a clarifier like the other ones had.
Yeah.
Seems fine.
I thought we had that in there anyway, but that's fine.
Sorry, guys, just one quick clarification. On item
That-
number 1, that identified person, is that the person calling for the complaint or the
Yes.
person making the
Yes.
noise?
Yeah.
No,
Okay,
it's the caller.
okay.
Right, because it
Does that
disturbs
make
the
sense?
quiet and repose of the identified person.
Repose, oh, repose, okay.
Yeah.
I think in number 3, okay, motor vehicles, okay, okay, that's fine.
So
Okay,
should that, for number 1, should it be the repose of identified person? Because it's usually just one person that calls, or maybe not, maybe multiple people call in. It's prohibited between,
I think, isn't that common language person?
Yeah,
Plural?
okay, all right,
Yeah, I think it's common language. I could be wrong.
great. Okay, I don't know. Sounds good.
So next change that he added was down here, domesticated animal. And then domesticated animal includes any animal that a person. So he added domesticated as a qualifier. So Lee, your rooster doesn't count. I don't think it would count, right?
yeah, it does if it's
Yeah, it would.
owned or controlled or otherwise cared for.
Yeah, but is it domesticated? Is a rooster considered domesticated?
Yeah.
It says right there,
Yeah.
a domesticated animal includes any animal that a person owns, controls, or otherwise cares for.
Okay.
So chicken coop, feed.
A wild rooster, no, but a domesticated one is yes.
Okay.
If you feed it, it's in a cage or whatever, you take care of it.
Pick them
So
up, at it.
theoretically, if somebody owns a wolf and the wolf is howling, those aren't considered domesticated, are they?
Yeah, if
Or
they
is
care
it just
for
that
it and
it's
they
a
own it,
pet?
yeah.
Okay.
Now, they don't, we didn't put any hours in this, right? So it's, does the default then just quiet hours, 11 to 7, or those the hours?
No, since it's not explicitly
quiet
said, it's considered all the time. So
Because that had to do with what if it was during the day and somebody's dog was barking incessantly
Good,
Right,
and repeatedly. That's why there's no hours on that.
good,
right,
I'm happy with that.
me too.
we skipped the comment here. I just realized perhaps established an exemption process. So the liquor license, maybe like, I guess this would fall into the same idea of if, should there be like a permit for that too?
But I thought we had something somewhere where they can go to the selectmen.
Yeah, you can do that. So I would assume that that same permit application process would apply for everything here.
Yeah. He said perhaps, so I think we've got that covered.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Okay, so moving forward, we're okay with domesticated. And then down here is emergency activities. He added some extra language, which makes sense, that to the extent practical or feasible.
Progress.
Sounds good.
Yeah,
No objections.
No objection.
no,
And then non-commercial speech. I mean, it's just cleaning up what was there. He got rid of a lot of distance and everything. just simplified it. He changed the bell chime into educational only. He eliminated the religious aspect of that exemption.
Wow, I wonder why he did that.
I don't know.
Mm.
He didn't get any context.
Huh. Yeah, because he just said, yeah, or any
I would
device.
wonder if it's because of the way that a religious exemption would make this a gray area potentially. You know, because if somebody's like, oh, this is a religious thing, and then they claim
Yeah.
they noise doing something egregious.
I'm sorry, this is the Church of Lee. I can make all the noise I want, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering, if that's why it was removed. I mean, I don't know how many people complain about a bell tower, but how many people would complain about the Church of Lee?
Yeah.
A bell, so that means like if you had the church bells would not be covered, basically, is that what it's saying?
That's
Yeah,
what
they
he's
wouldn't be
saying.
exempted.
Yeah, it wouldn't be.
They're not exempted
They're not exempted.
because it has to be from a school in association with any educational activity.
So you could call on a church bell.
Theoretically, it could also get struck by lightning depending on how you want to go. But
Yeah, I'm surprised that that's out.
I mean, we could contest it and put it back. I mean, like I'm sure that it's because of what I just said about the Church of Lee piece. I think that that's probably why it's removed, to avoid a situation like that.
Yeah,
But I mean,
I'm building my bell tower tomorrow.
The Church of Lisa.
yeah.
so how do we feel? Do we want to accept this change? Do we want to?
I mean, I wish I knew there was some more reason for it, but
Yeah.
And they don't let us talk to Jay, right?
Not, I mean, I sent a follow-up email, and by the radio silence I received, I'm assuming the answer is no. So I really don't know.
Right.
And we took that out of another
The lawyer
bylaw.
has to be paid, and that's how they control what's,
right.
you know, people just
That's a
ask them
$350 question.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Well, I guess leave it as he printed it, I guess. Is everybody comfortable with that?
So anybody living next to St. Anne's and St. Matthew's have now the right to complain about the
Yes.
church services?
If it goes through,
Bell.
Yeah. except if it's related to the school functions.
Well, I mean, as an atheist, I don't have a problem with that. I'm just trying to be pragmatic here.
Well, I think more importantly, because I think they only ring bells during services, but the church, the stone church beside the town hall, they have something that chimes every hour.
It's really not that loud.
No,
It
it's
is if you
not.
live next to it, which I did, which it's not annoying. It's just you can hear it. It's
Yeah.
But if you're moving,
I have a place
but if
down the
you,
Cape, I live next to a church. It woke me up every Sunday morning at 7:30.
but when you got the house, you knew that the church was there, right?
Yeah, well, I
That's what I was
didn't
gonna
know
say.
they would wake me up at 7:30 when I bought it, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true of most things that make noise. You don't realize it until after you move in. And then it's sort of like, what was
So
that?
we're
Yeah.
running out of time. So how do we feel about accepting this or rejecting it?
Accepting it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we have to accept it.
Yeah,
So should we put in a line specifically for religious institutions that have bells and chimes?
that's
I
what
don't-
that line is.
Yeah, I don't think.
No,
I
that's,
don't-
What?
that's just, it was, but he's writing one specifically for schools. So
Yeah.
why don't we just add one in specifically for,
Would we add a time constraint to it, or what would we?
no, I would just say that.
Well, I mean, it originally said from any school or church. And
Yeah,
he took out the church.
maybe
He
it's just-
clearly wants the church part out and so I don't think we should try to deal with that.
we've already given St. Mark's the money for the bell tower.
They got what?
For
2
the
million
repairs, right?
CPA money.
We should probably let them ring their bells.
I mean,
I think we should just leave it as he presented. There's got to be some reason for it.
okay,
Yeah.
so
Because we specifically had it in there. He took it out, so,
consensus, we move on.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. He said that farming as defined by Mass General Law can be very broad. I think that we were okay with that because it's a Mass
Mhm.
General Law.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
So we're not going to eliminate it then.
I can get rid of this now because he said he didn't say we can get rid of it.
yeah.
So now I can make this not be teal anymore. So we gotta
Maybe-
keep this
Maybe
piece.
maybe people who have issues with farming equipment will speak up at town meeting.
Yeah.
Has anybody
So-
read the Mass General Law here? What exactly does this thing say that they're exempt?
Mm.
I know farmers can do a lot of stuff. But they can have fires year round, they can do, they have a very strong lobby.
Mhm. So weren't we going to take out number 8 if he didn't say we needed it?
But since he didn't comment on it and we can't get more context, and since he didn't delete it, I'm going to assume we need it.
Oh, all right. Yeah,
So-
I guess.
Or that
I
at
guess.
least it doesn't hurt to have it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
So just because of that logic, I think we have to accept it.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so down here in the violations, he changed shall to be may. And as follows, and then he has a fine may be administered in the accordance with the general law. So we had this listed in other places as MGL, so I'm just gonna make this MGL. So it lines up.
Yep.
this-
Oh,
That next MGL, that little C's got to disappear. It should be a S.
Yeah, it shows up here the same way.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, because C is probably chapter, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
chapter. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I'm sorry.
As opposed to chapter.
Chapter 40, subsection 21D. Yeah.
We're okay with the changes he made here?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then the next section in enforcement, he changed will be handled to may be granted.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. That's probably better, actually, yeah.
oh, you know what? I think we should define temporary. I don't know if we should define it here, and maybe it's just as simple as temporary or no more than 2 days or something. I mean, that's just so ambiguous. It could be, oh, we'll let you get away with something for a year. And I don't think that's right.
Well, I mean, I think that if you, then you can go to the hearing and speak up and
Yeah.
they'll have a hearing at the select board. So, I mean, if they want to grant a temporary thing for a church bell for every Sunday for a year, it'd be kind of strange if they'd have to do it every week.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it puts the onus in a weird way. I think Lisa's right that there should be some level of expectation of what temporary means. For me, temporary doesn't mean like
Forever.
grant a restaurant the ability to play music every night of the week all summer long. You know, that would seem excessive. But if you said
Put in
like,
like, maybe after the word temporary in parentheses, put in less than 7 days, close parentheses, or something similar to that.
Yeah, that's probably less than 7 days, or
I just
7
throw that out as a
consecutive-
number. That's
7
not
consecutive
necessarily
days.
my number.
I would say, I would even say like 2 consecutive days or something. Because
Yeah,
if it's
but
usually a
like-
party, if it's a party, it's going to happen in a day, right? I mean, I'm
Yeah.
thinking, I think when we were talking about this, we were talking about, events, typically 1-day events that would need a permit.
Yeah. I mean, I think a St. Mark's graduation ceremony, that's a several day thing where they get ready for it, they practice, they do all their things, and then they have their graduation. That would fall within 7 days.
So why don't we say like less than 3 days? So it's like they can have their rehearsal one day and their whatever the next day.
So rather than say less, so you're saying that, so less than 3 days means 0, 1, or 2 days. Is that
Right.
what you're saying?
Yeah,
Because 3 days then would be 3 days. So so not less than or equal to 3 days, but less than 3 days.
right.
Okay.
Okay, so let me ask, so let's say there's a film crew coming into town, they're gonna make noise for 2 months.
Oh,
The select board will do whatever they want to do, so,
Yeah, so we don't have to worry about the noise bylaw. They'll be granting it on a different,
right. So I'm just like, I'm trying to keep everything simple.
Yeah.
Adding 3 days, 7 days, I think is a false restriction that we might not need.
actually, you're right.
Is there not, I don't know if this is the only place I think temporary shows up. Should we define temporary in another section as like not,
It's not permanent, it's,
yeah, I'm trying to think about how do you define summer, like a season permit as not permanent? You know what I mean? Because it's a season, but like, how would you say like a summer or a this or a that? That there's not a like just open opportunity to do whatever during that time frame. You know, like to Lisa's point, like what if somebody was like, I would like to have a concert outdoors every Monday through the summer, and they want to play that thing until 11 o'clock at night every night. Like that, and you go to the select board for that. Like we already said 8 o'clock on a weeknight, you put kids to bed on the homeowner restrictions.
yeah.
So why would we let somebody get away all summer long on a Monday when people are still going to work at 3 a.m. or whatever, just because the kids are off school?
Right.
So
That's,
Let me-
I mean, the select board should be looking at this noise bylaw and making decisions based on it.
yeah, I was gonna ask, I mean, the select board will decide based on this process. And they have to they'll be accountable to the voters. So, if for during the summer, they have the food trucks at St. Mark's, or have the band at Neary School,
Oh,
whatever
right.
times they approve. I just think it's just every time we come up with an hour, a day, a week, I can
Right.
come up with examples where we would violate. So I would just say temporary. We can define temporary as, not permanent as an example.
Why don't we just say
No.
exemptions? Why don't we take the word temporary out? Just say exemptions to this bylaw may be granted by the select board, period.
the
No,
whole
because I
temporary-
don't want them to be giving someone a year's worth of construction noise from 6 a.m. until 10 p.m.
They're not gonna do that.
You don't know that.
Well, you can go to the board, you can go to the meeting and do that
If
and
you
speak
get
on
a
that.
notification about it.
Yeah, I'm not in favor of removing temporary by itself.
I
I
think
would
we need
be-
to define it.
Yeah, I would be in favor of finding a definition of temporary, which could be one line of maybe instances. I'm okay with like instances or something like that. We could maybe find a way if we defined it no more than so many instances or something, because then that would limit getting a permit all summer long. You'd be like, okay, if you got 6 or 7, you can't do it every Monday. You might be able to do it every other week or every whatever. Like there's opportunities to be able to find reasonableness with an instance approach. I don't know if it's the right approach, but it's just a thought starter.
I mean, you have 5 selectmen, they're elected. I mean, I think they're gonna have the town's best interest in mind, but
Okay, so do we want to then define temporary, or do we want to just?
I think we should move on and handle, let the selectmen, we'll talk about that later. We got plenty of other stuff to do before this other meeting comes up.
Okay. So he didn't delete severability, he left it in, so I'm just gonna get rid of it.
It looks like he actually took
He
out,
changed it.
he took out the B.
Yep,
So you can get rid of the letter A. It's just that's it.
okay, so, and then this doesn't need to be teal. And then he also deleted the appeals process that we had here. So that was brought up in a public comment about having an appeals process, and he deleted that.
Is it because the fines may be administered by the enforcement officials in accordance to MGL? Is that what you were saying, Pete? That
Yeah,
at the
right.
court
You
that
go in
they
front
have
of
an
the clerk
appeals
and you can
process?
appeal, right. Anything that goes to court can be appealed to at first it goes in front of the clerk magistrate for a hearing, then it goes in front, you can appeal to the judge. So there is an appeal process at the court.
Okay.
And then on point of law, I believe you can even go to a higher level. Like if the law was, you could appeal that it was unconstitutional or something. I mean, the courts are obviously designed to have appeals in mind.
And it may be that he's thinking that where it says the select board may establish appropriate procedures for processing applications, including such hearings as they deem appropriate, that the attorney felt that included that they can establish their own appeals process.
Yeah.
Or lack thereof. And then he's not sure we need section 9, but I think we should leave it.
Yep.
Yes, we're down to
So
3
what's he saying? What's he saying about 9 in his?
Just says, I don't think you need.
We don't need it, but we wanted to put it in there for information.
Exactly. As he's right that it's, it doesn't add anything per se, but it does, but that's why we put it at the end.
Mhm.
So we are on 3 pages, guys.
Woohoo.
You didn't even have to shrink the font to 10 point.
No, we're at 11 still.
Hey, if you put it at 5 point, it might fit on 2 pages.
I'll have to get out my magnifying glass.
It's amazing. I can read without my glasses the small text on my watch because it has so many pixels in it. It's it amazes me because my eyesight's not that good usually.
There's no way to just accept all the changes that I see.
under review, Tim at the top.
All the way up at the top, tools. Very top, tools, then track changes.
It
No.
doesn't have an accept all button though.
Yeah, no, go to review. I think there's where the accept all is. Like John was saying. Double check.
Under accept,
Oh,
go back a little over, a couple more
oh,
over.
accept.
Accept all, and then stop
There you
tracking
go.
if you want it, but
No, we're keep tracking. Although I should stop tracking because it's driving me insane. And we can resolve all these. I'm clicking the wrong button. Whatever.
Get rid of more definitions to be added.
I left it there as an open-ended thing as we added more, that it wasn't considered necessarily final, but I mean, unless we add temporary, I can't think of another one right now that we would,
The only note I made on that was, do we need to define unreasonable disturbance, or is that something the officer just knows when he
Discretion.
sees it or hears it? Yes, no?
I was hoping.
Yeah,
Pete-
I think that would be hard to define.
Okay,
Yeah, I think so.
okay,
I think then we're back to the Potter standard.
okay.
I'm trying to find the definition for temporary.
I think we have to define that. I
Yeah,
think
it sounds
it's a
like we're
matter
gonna have
of
to.
days, or can you just put temporary in there so that we can return to it at some point,
I
Tim?
think it is in there.
Please?
So,
I didn't see it.
no, I mean, why don't we define it in where it says?
Oh, okay,
I think, because that's where people will see it.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, because it's only mentioned once, it doesn't make
Yeah,
sense.
number 160, line 116.
Sure.
You just, whatever, hopefully we can get something simple, we can put it in there, days or whatever.
Oops, breaking things. Okay, so we need to do this still.
I mean, we can pick some days, and then when we, 3 days a week, whatever we want. And then when we submit it to the selectmen, tell them that that's there. Or maybe advisory could help us on that.
So
Nah, let's
What
come
about-
forth our own.
what about the context is we don't want to accept just like a blanket change to the summer. So we would say temporary, like you'd almost say event, right? So you could get an exemption for filming. That'd be an event. So you could get an exemption for a wedding and all the things that would go into the wedding a day or two ahead of time. You
Temporary
wouldn't get an exemption for the summer for a business at the same thing. You'd get an exemption for an event. So is there something to
What if you put in temporary exceptions to this bylaw may be granted by the select board for a specific event?
I think we need to define a timeline on it. I think it should be temporary exceptions for less than, or temporary exceptions for no more than 3 days can be granted by the select board. I think we need to put a time frame around it. I mean, I think 3 days is plenty.
if we say for no more than 3 days, are there any instances that we originally concepted the exemption idea for that would be beyond the 3 days?
Like, what if they were filming a movie? Like that, I know they're filming a movie and then they're here for like a month. And
Guys, before
That night.
COVID, on Wednesdays, I think at Neary, they were having evening festivals. There were food trucks and a band and so forth. That was happening, I think, every Wednesday during the summer. So I would assume that the select board would approve that for Wednesdays during the summer. So in that case, that is an event that would go beyond 3 days or 7 days. But it
Yeah.
is an approved event, if they want to describe it that way.
so they could probably break that down as to each week as a separate event.
That would be what I would do if I were the people who were organizing it.
Right.
Yeah.
I'd make a series of permits and have them
Lined up.
rule on them all at once.
Every week would have one, but it couldn't be Wednesday, Thursday. Well, I guess it could be. So I guess you could name it, Wednesday's party, Thursday's party, and Friday's party.
Yes, I mean, it's like the weekly food truck things.
You would, in that situation, it would be like, the weekend event or something like that. And that would be a different thing. They'd go for the 3 days for the event. The goal is not to let somebody do something standing
Right, right.
throughout a
Not for a
season.
month, not for,
You know,
Yeah,
so-
not for a season, not for a year.
I'm good with 3 days. If you want to do, that's fine.
All right, so I take out specific event and go back to the 3 days.
so should I go back to the less than?
Yeah,
Well,
that's what we're talking about.
well, you'd still leave specific event.
I don't think you need it.
Temporary exceptions. Okay.
You know, the specific event was to get around picking a specific time frame, but so if we're going to go with a specific time frame, I'm good with that too.
So why wouldn't we just put less than 3 days at the very end of that sentence? Temporary exceptions to this bylaw may be granted by the select board for select board
Less
I
than
think
3
it's
days.
fine. I think it's a parenthetical.
less than,
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
this is like defining.
it looks funny.
Right? That's the, I agree, especially because it's red. I don't know why it's red.
Just looks weird. It doesn't. Temporary. Less than 3 days.
I mean, you could
I could do it
write
during.
exceptions less than 3 days.
Exceptions. Yeah, temporary
out-
exceptions. How about, does it have to be less than, or could it be no more than 3 days?
So that was what my question was this was, you know, less than 3 days means 2 days.
Right. So
No more than 3 days means no more than 3 days.
Yeah,
And adds an extra day to Cindy's proposal.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. I mean, we wanted 3 days, so yeah, whatever, however you need to write it to get 3 days.
All right, that would let an event happen on Friday, Saturday, and
All right,
Sunday.
8:15, folks, 8:15.
okay.
Can
All right.
Well, let's-
Okay,
can we
so-
take a vote on all the changes like we did last week for
Let's
Lee?
do okay, let's vote on how it is right now.
So I move that we accept the document before us right now as our working draft, version 9.
I'll second
second.
that. So Peter is yes. Lisa,
Yes.
Cindy,
Yes,
Lee,
Yes,
Tim,
Yes.
and John.
Yes.
All right, we're gonna have a recess and we're gonna
Hold on.
reconvene.
Let
Go
me,
ahead.
let me just, somebody had their hand up in the audience. So for the people that are in the audience, I want to explain what we're about to do so they're aware. We're going to join the advisory committee's meeting. So that's what Pete was about to say. We're going to take a recess from this meeting. We're going to go over to their Zoom link and join their meeting. And then we will reconvene our meeting inside the advisory meeting as a joint meeting.
and then we'll come back here afterwards, right?
Yeah, I believe we're taking another recess and come back here to wrap up our meeting.
Yeah.
right.
Okay, so we're just gonna go find the link and head over, right?
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
already 2 minutes late.
Okay, we gotta go.
Okay, so we need to make a motion, right? So
Show
I make a motion
Show
to-
of hands if you want to recess.
My
Lisa,
thumbs up.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah.
It's unanimous. We're gonna recess.